Welcome to Like a Ghost in a Shell. It's Friday. To me, Friday is the day like Monday that always has the potential to set the tempo and mood for how the rest of the week or weekend can go. That said, let's get into the video. Part 1. Leeches. As an example, when I was a kid, I played lots of sports. I used to have the tendency to overthink some of my next moves while playing. Coach would pull me to the side and ask,
"What do you think you're doing wrong?"
I didn't really know because I was mostly at that age, thinking instinctively. So I'd reply,
"I'm not sure."
Coach would point out, "You're overthinking. When you overthink, you tend to overcorrect yourself. Just let the moves flow naturally, and then make the pass." As a kid, those words of advice didn't hit like they should have at the time, until I grew up a bit more. I started to grow in understanding that my tendency to overthink can cost me progress. Not only that, but like a leech, the bad habit, much like Count Dracula, would suck the blood, aka creativity, out of my instinctive thinking. This habit was a problem. Then, like leaving the dealership with a car you've never seen, the same car starts to appear all over the place. Only, in this example, the car you would never see until you purchased one is bad habits that are like leeches. They can come in many shapes and forms, such as negativity, a cloud or a lack of mental clarity, anxiety, words or language that drains your energy, food, toxic entertainment. The list could go on. None of us are exempt from these toxicities unless we become like a ghost off the grid. Move far away from civilization, grow our own food, live our own lives outside of social media and the internet, etc. Or like a monk, if you pursue a life of peace and discipline, you learn to cope with things in different ways. So, that leaves the question: how do you and I live within society knowing these toxicities exist? Like the villain in a movie, bad habits are always on the prowl. What about after you believe you've built a strong foundation? How do you move on to bigger, better and greater things while also keeping a fine watch over your exceptional habits? Some could say, once I've built a strong habit, it just comes natural, so I don't have to worry about anything. Or, I just leave it in God's hands and try not to worry about it. Or, when something comes up, I deal with it. Think about a leech or bad habit like you would insanity. If you keep swimming in the same pond, won't you keep coming out of that pond with more leeches? So, like pornography, if you keep swimming in the same pond, won't you continue to feel the necessity to go back to your vomit? Sure, you can keep pulling the leeches, aka bad habits, off, but what about future thoughts you will encounter? You know there will be future thoughts and temptations, because if there wasn't, you wouldn't be in the predicament. Just like, when you leave a porn website, you know that in the back of your mind you tell yourself, this is the last time, knowing you most likely will be back. One thing I've learned about pulling weeds: if you don't pull the whole weed from the root, and then actively pursue maintenance over the area of concern, the weeds will continue to grow in the same area. One of my favorite examples of this concept is Venom and Spider-Man. Spider-Man keeps trying to pull off sections of Venom, tossing the pieces all over the place. But each time Spider-Man passes by the section again, Venom picks up the puzzle again and Spider-Man's stuck still trying to pull the pieces off. It isn't until he realizes that Venom hates the sound of the bell and vibration, and Spider-Man finally overcomes the problem. Which brings us to a possible solution to start building and correcting from. Because, like a job that you don't know means you're a blank canvas. Therefore, you can be trained with fresh habits, and it means you won't bring any bad habits you may carry with you, as opposed to if you did have experience for a job or position. A suggestion is, get in tune with the current wisdom you already have regarding habits you want to overcome. I think this to be a creative way to think about the problem and solution, but what is the song of the bad habits you want to or need to overcome? What is the song that your current wisdom is singing? Depending what the song is, depends on the call to action you should take. Otherwise, please don't think this is my aim for perfection, but wouldn't you like to look back a year from now and be thankful you started doing the work, rather than feel guilty because you didn't start? Sometimes, the first step is admitting, I've been playing in a pond full of leeches. I'm drained. Maybe I should try to find a river or larger body of water to play with the sharks or learn from the alligators or whatever species you find interesting for this analogy. P.S. Don't take that last sentence literal, please. Chuckles. Until next time, see you soon and have a wonderful weekend, friend. Consider subscribing for more content like this.